Good morning. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Jeff. On my way to Herzliya right now. Sitting in typical Tel Aviv traffic right now. It's gotten used to it. I guess this is what I use Meerkat for, to pass the time in traffic. So thank God for that. You know, I've said this several times over the past couple of days. I love Meerkat, right? I love the team, love Ben, love Uri, love the investors, big fan. Having said that, like, there are some just fatal bugs, like real serious bugs, like showstoppers that have been around for like a month, 2 months. And like, I know that they're scaling at an insane rate. And I know that they have a lot of technical things on their plate, but I feel like these things should be addressed. And again, I'm a big fan. I tell Uri the stuff all the time. I know that he has so much stuff to do, but this is like yesterday, my stream completely froze in the middle, just completely froze. Now, the whole thing of going to audio, which happens to me all the time, which I'm sure you guys have seen, you know, I thought maybe it's because I'm driving and in and out, but no. Yesterday I was in a restaurant on Wi-Fi, full connection, perfect connectivity, and it just went to audio several times. So I don't really understand how their, you know, platform decides audio video, but it's really annoying. Drive safely. I'm sitting in bumper to bumper traffic. I'm like not moving right now. So I really wish they would fix some of the stuff and make it more stable. That's number one. Number two, I don't understand, for the love of God, how their whole following system works. I'm getting things in my feed of people that I absolutely I'm not following. People dressed in a way that I would definitely not follow, and nor do I want to see that stream in my feed. And people that are writing in languages I don't understand, that have no picture, they're just basically not real people, and they keep showing up. My feed is like blasted with things that I did not subscribe to, and I don't know how they got there. And I'm definitely not following these people, so I don't understand why they're there, how they're there, and how to get rid of them either.
Police ahead. Speeding would be a big mistake.
Do you guys hear Waze talking to me? I don't know if you can hear it or not, but that was Waze with Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice. That's pretty cool. But anyway, it's really frustrating that it's like full of stuff that I didn't subscribe to. And I tried to like swipe on one of the feeds and just report it to get rid of it, because it did look fake. Report button doesn't work either. So the kind of things that I would expect from a company like in the first like 2-3 weeks, month after launch, but not a company that reached $14 million from Greylock and an amazing team that they have. I really think that they have to like community picks. These are not community picks, I promise you. Trust me, these are not community picks, okay? I guarantee you that. Hello, good morning to you. So it's just really frustrating to me. It's just like, sorry for ranting, but I saw that Jeff started using Periscope. Jeff Goldberg, he's here. And that's unfortunate, sad for me, because I don't like the way Periscope treated, I don't like the way Twitter treated Meerkat and Periscope, obviously, after they acquired them. So I'm using Meerkat exclusively, but I get it. I get why Jeff went to Periscope. There's just so many bugs here that are just crazy. Like, it says there are 32 people here now, and if I count the amount of pictures on the screen, there are not 32 of them. So, Shy, welcome, dude. Thanks for coming in. Anyway, so this is just my rant. They have to like fix some things. Like, I'm sure right now I'm on, I stream smoothly, then I get cut off. Yeah, it's really annoying. Like, I'm on the highway right now. I'm on full 4G, and I guarantee you, within 10 minutes, I guarantee you I'm gonna get cut off. And I'm on a main highway. There's no reason that I should be getting cut off and going into audio only. And then when it gets into audio only, it like messes up the sync. And not to mention when I flip the camera around, which I want to show you what I'm looking at, it totally messes up the sync. And it's very frustrating to me. Like, I feel like I'm bothering Uri, but I send him every day. I send him screenshots and things that happen to me every single day. And he doesn't ignore me. He sees them, and I guess he's working, but he's a lot on his plate. It's just, I feel like they should scale up their team to handle these things. Numbers are not accurate. Yeah, it's really annoying. Agree. Big guy is little guy, but it's frustrating here after all this time. Agree. Hey, from Eretz Israel. Hey, Laura, what's cooking? Anyway, so I just really hope they work these kinks out. It's really frustrating. I'm not leaving Meerkat anytime soon. I love it. I'm getting a lot of value out of this, but it is very frustrating. And I feel like there's a grace period. Again, not for me. For most people, a grace period, kind of like how long they'll use an app even though it's buggy. I feel like that grace period is really coming to an end, and Meerkat really has to get their stuff together. So I hope they do, for their sake. Community picks work in a weird way. If some specific people retweet you, then you are a community pick. Yeah, I got that, Adir, but trust me, there's some things here in foreign languages that have, the guy does no picture, There's no content there. It's just like a picture of an egg. There's no way it's a community pic. I guarantee you that. And they're just showing up in my feed. I don't know why. It's very frustrating. Agree, and that hurts me to say as someone who loves this community. Yeah, I really do love the community. I love the company, and I do love the product in a lot of ways. But there's just some things that they need to really seriously get worked out soon, because the grace period is ending. Anyway, so yeah, I'm on my way to Herzliya right now to meet an entrepreneur named Kobe Dinar, who has a company called Talent Tribe, which is, I'm telling you guys, this is so interesting. I'm advising the company a little bit. It's like a, an advisory role. It's really awesome. Basically, the concept is that, the concept is basically that if you're you're a developer in Silicon Valley or anywhere really, you're getting like 50 companies reaching out to you a day to ask you, to hire you, to recruit you, to poach you. And in 2015, you're not joining a company because they're going to pay you $5,000 more. You're going to join a company because company culture, it's cool to work at Facebook, it's cool to work at Twitter, it's cool to work at Airbnb, right? It's cool to work in certain places. But what happens if you're a startup or a small company and you don't have that cool to work at vibe? People don't know it's cool to work, but it is a cool place to work. How do you sell that culture? And we're going to talk about culture a little bit later, but how do you sell that culture? So Talent Tribe has a mobile app. It's not out yet. I'll tweet about it when it is out, but that you choose a company. Let's say, Airbnb reaches out to you and you're like, all right, what's Airbnb? What's it like to work at? You go into Talent Tribe, you dive into the company, and you can see like company trips, company lunches, like a live feed into the cafeteria. What's it really like to work at the company, Not like, reviews, like really what's it in real life? What's it really like to work there? And they actually send photographers to companies and they help them brand the company and kind of sell that branding. And they have unbelievable companies working with them pre-launch, like unbelievable. And so I'm helping them, try to open some doors to other companies and just helping him in any way I can. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's done a lot in the past. He sold his last company, and so I'm going to meet him at 9 o'clock. Then after that, I'm going to Microsoft Ventures, who invested in Zula, to show him the new product. Amir Pinchat's an amazing guy, showing him the new product that we're building. I'm really excited about that. Then I'm meeting Jacob Ner David, who was the CEO of Zula and now is at McKinsey. He's a startup advisor at McKinsey, so I'm going to be seeing him in Herzliya. Then I'm going back to Tel Aviv, meeting. I don't even remember who I'm meeting for lunch. Oh man, this is embarrassing. Who am I meeting for lunch? After lunch, I'm meeting Singularity team. Liraz, who does marketing for a new VC, Moshe Chogeg's VC, the guy who founded Mobley and Yo. And he's a VC also. Singularity Team's the name of the fund. I'm meeting him as marketing girl, Liraz girl. She's a PhD in marketing. She's amazing. So I'm meeting her at like 2 o'clock. But I'm trying to remember who I'm meeting for lunch, and I cannot remember. Well, I don't want to put you in the background to check my calendar, but I'm meeting someone cool for lunch. I don't remember who it is right now. But anyway, it's going to be a really great day. And then tonight I have a bat mitzvah of a daughter of a friend, a really close friend of mine, and I'm really excited about that. So yeah, that's what's going on with me today. Let's see who's in here. Gideon, what's going on, man? All right, we're gonna start talking about the topic in 1 minute here. Amy Wood, how you doing? Wow. Brian, welcome, dude. Danny Klein himself, how you doing, dude? What's going on? All right. Hey, Nadav, what's going on, man? Welcome. Good morning to you. Brian, how you doing? We're meeting soon to talk about your startup. Awesome stuff. All right. Well, what did Peter Lerner say? Peter Lerner said something. Peter Lerner, good morning. Periscope is just better. Hey, Peter, come on, man. We're supposed to be pro-Israel. Meerkat's an Israeli company. Periscope is better in a lot of ways, but I don't think it's better. I don't agree with you at all. I'll tell you why. Because I can't read the comments afterwards. That for me is a game, it's a complete showstopper. I want to be able to read these comments afterwards. I can't on Periscope. I love the hearts. I love certain things about Periscope, but I don't agree that it's better at all. I like Meerkat better. Except the bugs aside. We got to figure out the bugs. What's for lunch? What do you think's for lunch, Danny? We're going to Mitos, man. Anyway, all right. So let's talk a little bit about the topic here. I'm on 4G, but I'm on 3 bars. I guarantee I'm going to go down to audio very soon, and it's super frustrating. But I will continue. All right. So everyone says to you, you're a startup, you're a founder, you need to be on social. Social. That's a buzzword everybody's talking about. Let's just talk about that buzzword for 1 second. This is not a random or unrelated rant, but not exactly the topic. Social media, the phrase, is one of the worst. I really despise that phrase. First of all, obviously because it's overused, and social media manager, God, I see that on LinkedIn. I'm like, I don't connect with anyone who calls himself a social media manager. That's like a big no-no. because anybody can call themselves, or an expert on anything. Social media expert is like the worst thing you can call yourself. But that aside, social media, right? Social, what's social? What does social mean? Forget, guys, get out of the whole buzzword thing that you hear that word social all the time. What does social mean? Social by definition means two-way, right? You're engaging, you're talking to someone. Again, engaging, a stupid word that's become overused and annoying. Social means you're talking to someone. By definition, if you're being social, you are talking.
Accident reported ahead.
Do you guys hear that? Let me know if you hear waves. I don't know if you hear Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's talking to me, but let me know if you hear it. I don't know. What does media mean? Traditionally, what does media mean? Broadcast, one way. Social means two-way. Media means one way. It's like a built-in paradox. It's an inherent paradox, the word social media. I can't stand it. I don't like it, and I used it as the image here on this stream just because I couldn't find anything more relevant, but I really don't like the word social media. So let's just talk about, I guess we'll use the word social. So everyone tells you need to be on social, right? Can't blame me for not being pro-Israel. The bugs bug me. The bugs bug me? Well, bugs are supposed to bug. I agree with you, man. I definitely agree with you. I'm not saying you're not pro-Israel. I know you live and breathe pro-Israel. What do you think of the little chief social media officer? Totally hear it. Oh, you hear it. Awesome. Yeah, so that's Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice in Waves. It's pretty funny. By the way, we talked about how to make your app delightful yesterday, right? This is the kind of thing, Waves, right? They add Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice to guide me. I mean, come on, seriously. It says to me like, turn right, I insist. Or, all right, let's get going. Hasta la vista, baby. Like, it's just funny. It's delightful. It makes me enjoy and smile when I use the app. So that's just what we talked about yesterday. But anyway, so everyone says to you need to be on social, right? You have a startup. How could you not be on social? You need to be on social. First of all, you don't need to do anything. You need to build an amazing product, and then you need to build the audience. Okay, so let's just start with that. But is social a powerful thing? It is a very, very powerful thing if used properly. And I was talking to Avi Meir yesterday, who's the spokesman for the Jewish agency, who's fantastic on Twitter. He totally gets Twitter, and he said to me, like, he tells people all the time, yeah, you should be on Twitter if you have time. If you don't have time to invest in Twitter, do not open a Twitter account, because Twitter is not, post something and then come back 3 days later. That is literally useless. It is a waste of time, and it is probably actually bad for your brand, because anybody who comes into your Twitter and sees that all you do is broadcast once every 3 days makes you look really bad and spammy and not human. So if that's what your goal is with using Twitter, just broadcasting and selling once every whatever, or even every day, or even 20 times a day, just new blog post, buy my app, download my app, buy my thing, then yeah, do not use social. If that's what your goal is, only to get downloads or conversions or whatever it is, then yeah, don't use social. Go hire some salespeople and do your thing. And unfortunately, that might seem like a no-brainer or kind of like an obvious thing that we take for granted, maybe some of us, but unfortunately, we all know that is not something that most people understand, and that you do use social as a sales platform, which it is not. So I think it's sort of a time game. You know what's the problem with this? You know what else is a problem, Meerkat? The lack of context in comments. Like, I'm reading comments and I can't understand. I don't see the whole conversation. But anyway, I'll leave that. I'll read it later. So assuming that you understand the value of social and you get it, and you understand the value of building an audience and listening to your audience and building out, kind of brand loyalty and all those things, which I'm not going to use, trying to avoid buzzwords, so I'm not going to, go on and elaborate on that point. But if you get what social is about, then yeah, you should be on social. But there's endless amounts of platforms out there. And we all know, right? Everyone says, oh, well, you need to be on Facebook, obviously, kind of, it's like the default. You need to be on Twitter, obviously. It's amazing. You need to be on Instagram. You need to be on Pinterest. You need to be on Google+. You need to be on, and the list goes on. And every day there's new things. You need to be on Yik Yak. You need to be on Snapchat. And it just goes on and on and on. And you can't, right? You can't. I was lecturing last week, and an entrepreneur said to me, what do you mean? I can't be here. I can't do those things. I need to build a product. And I said to him, and I mentioned this yesterday, you need to build a product, but an amazing product without an audience is also no value. So you do need to be building out the audience. The question is, how do you choose which platform? How do you kind of balance your resources to maximize, the efficiency of being on social media? Again, I use that word, being on the social web, right? How do you find the right platform for you? And so yesterday when I tweeted this stream, someone said to me, well, wherever your target audience is, go there. I could not disagree more. If your goal is to reach your target audience, then again, hire salespeople and reach out to your target audience. If your goal is to expand your audience and build out a brand, right, and have people love your brand, then use social. So if you're only going after your target audience and you have 5 people who are going to buy your Barbie dolls, go call them and do your thing. That is not what social is about. So I totally disagree that you only look where your target audience is. No, you want to build out a target audience. You want to expand your target audience. So if you're a mobile advertising company and you're helping developers monetize their apps and you're only talking to developers now, then what happens in a year from now when someone develops an app and they know nothing about you because you never talked to them before? That's not what you need to build out your audience and expand your audience and expand your horizons and go to places where your target audience isn't right now, but might be tomorrow. So I totally disagree with the person who said that. I don't know. He said he won't be able to come in today because it's 12 o'clock midnight his time. So I told him to check out the Pinterest board to watch afterwards. But whoever that was, I don't remember his name on Twitter, but he said that, go to where your target audience is. I totally, completely, 100% disagree. And by the way, guys, I see there are a lot of comments here. I will look at them afterwards, which is why I love Meerkat over Periscope. It's amazing to me that Periscope thought it was a good idea to get rid of comments. I get the whole ephemeral thing, but that just doesn't make any sense to me. So I'll read your comments afterwards, or when I'm standing completely still. Right now I'm driving, so I can't really read your comments. But so let's talk about it, right? So here's the way I view, this is my personal view on all the different platforms. Obviously not all, because there's endless amounts of platforms and there's new ones every day, but the main ones. Let's talk about the main ones. So Facebook, right? Facebook obviously is the market kind of winner, right? As we speak right now, obviously there's no one that even competes or compares to the size of Facebook and the mainstream appeal of Facebook, right? Everyone's on Facebook. Now, as a company, do you need to be on Facebook? Yes. What does that mean, though? You need to have a Facebook page. You need to have a Facebook page. If I'm talking about a company or following a company and they're not on Facebook at all, they have no page, that's a red light to me, honestly. It means that they're not legit. That's to me, all right? To me. I'm not saying anybody, there's no rules here, right? To me, if I'm looking for a company on Facebook and they're not there at all, there's something wrong, I think. But what does it mean? How much time do you have to spend on Facebook? So I'll tell you my experience and my thoughts on this. Facebook pages are a complete fail. Business pages, I've managed and I've been involved with tens of Facebook pages. None of them I can say were a commercial success. None of them drove much value. And it's very simple why. If you tweet something as a company or as a person on Twitter, you tweet something, it's public. Anybody can see it. But if you post something on Facebook, who sees it? Think about it, guys. You have a business page, not a profile, and you post something on the business page, who sees it? The people that already liked your page. You're preaching to the choir. It's like, come engage with our content. I'm already engaging with your content. I already like your page. I'm there. I'm your fan. I am a fan of your company. So now you're selling to me, or quote unquote, writing content, distributing it to me? No, you want to get wider. How do you get wider? You can't. Anybody who didn't already like the page doesn't see your content. So what happens? People then say, I need to, so I'll ask people to like my page so that more people will see it. All right, great. So spam your friends. It's really effective. And then someone's going to like your page because you asked them to. And then tomorrow they'll see your content's completely irrelevant to them and they'll unlike your page. So Facebook pages are completely broken. And that's just one example, but just, you can't tag a person on a Facebook, as a business, as a page owner, I can't tag someone, a person. I mean, really? How did Facebook think that was a good idea? I mean, there's so many things that Facebook did that I don't understand why they thought it was a good idea, but that's one of them. How could you not tag someone on a Facebook page? Yesterday, Benny Friedman is a singer. I met with him yesterday, and he wanted to tag me. He couldn't. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. The whole point of Facebook pages is to engage with people. You can't tag people on a Facebook page. So I think Facebook pages are a complete disaster, and I think that you need to have one because, again, people are going to search for you. But in terms of the large scope of things, in terms of the amount of time you spend on your Facebook page, it absolutely does not even compare. Doesn't even compare to the amount of time you should spend on Twitter as a company. So you need to have a Facebook page. I would say, if I'm quantifying it, again, there are no rules for this, but if I'm quantifying it, I would say 1-2 posts a day, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 comments on other content as the company, and you're good. But definitely don't have a Facebook page you haven't updated in 6 months. That just looks bad, right? So, update maybe once or twice a day and comment on a few things, and that's it. You're good. I don't, yeah, you can ask for likes. I don't see the point. It's also not, another thing, right? Likes don't translate into engagement. They really don't. Whereas on Twitter, the amount of followers you have has some correlation to the amount of comments and responses and retweets and replies that you get. On Facebook, they really don't. Like, I know so many companies that bought likes, fake likes, right? Because they wanted to show their investor, look, we have 300,000 likes. You idiot. When you do that, what are you in essence doing? You're shooting yourself in the foot, because any investor with a half a brain is going to look at your 300,000 likes and say, oh, wow, amazing. Let's go look at their engagement. They're going to come in, they're going to be like, okay, 1 like on each post, 1 comment on each post. What happened to the 300,000 people? You know what happened? Those people are bots. They're not people. So your 300,000 likes are completely worthless. But let's put buying likes aside. Generally speaking, I can tell you endless amounts of examples of companies that have a lot of likes and 0 engagement on their posts. So I don't even the whole concept of likes. I know the guy who invented the like, Jared Morgenstern. He's an amazing guy, and I get what his what the thought process was originally in terms of doing the whole like concept. But it's, as always, marketers ruined it, and it's really pretty worthless today. The whole like my page thing. I just have never, on one hand, I can count the amount of Facebook pages that I like and that I get good value out of and that are really succeeding. 95% of the Facebook pages that I've either been involved with or have liked in the past, I unliked and just were of no value to me. So I think you need to be on Facebook because it's just the default, but I absolutely do not think you should spend much time there as a company. On the other hand, Facebook as a person, not as a person who wants to connect with their grandmother, a person who wants to promote thing and has an audience on Facebook, as a person, not as a page. Very important differentiation, and understand the difference, because as a page, I would love to hear your thoughts. If you guys have successful business pages, maybe I'm missing something, but in my experience, I've never had any real traction with Facebook pages. So that's my thoughts on Facebook. You have to be there as a business for sure. Don't spend too much time on it, but definitely have someone, help spread content and kind of build out the community as a person, representing you as a brand. That is the way. That's kind of the killer combination that I found to work best. That's Facebook. We're going to leave Twitter for last. Let's talk about Instagram for 1 second. Obviously, Facebook owns Instagram. There's a reason Facebook owns Instagram, and that's because Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, looked at MySpace and said, I can't become the next MySpace. I need to maintain relevancy, and so I'm going to buy Instagram. I don't care if it's for $1 billion or a lot more than that. And by the way, that's the same concept of WhatsApp. I actually sat with the investors of Facebook. The investors of WhatsApp, and he explained to me the rationale behind the $19 billion acquisition. $19 billion could have been $25 billion, could have been $15 billion. It was the price that Zuckerberg had to pay for relevancy. That's it. He could not afford for 500 million messages to be sent every single day outside of the Zuckerberg universe, right? Same thing with Instagram. He could not afford for millions and hundreds of millions of people to be sending pictures every day on Instagram and not in Facebook. So he said, all right, I'm just going to, swallow them up. And that's what he tried with Snapchat as well. But Instagram is really good and really, for one thing, and really bad for another thing. If you view Instagram as another sales platform, as another place to drive traffic, then you're completely misunderstanding the platform. Just on a technical side, you can't even link, on Instagram. There are all kinds of hacks you can do. Put the link in the bio, put the link in the location. I've heard all kinds of crazy stuff that people have done to drive traffic. Forget that crap. Stop misusing platforms. Each platform has its advantages and disadvantages. Use it for what it's for. Instagram is fantastic for visual content, and it's fantastic as a brand to promote your brand and your culture, right? This is what we said before, culture. Culture is very important. It might be more important than anything else, right? It might be more important than technology. It might be more important than anything. But how do you promote that? So we talked about Talent Tribe before. Another way is Instagram, right? Yes, take pictures of the team. Take pictures of your company lunches. Take pictures of, the offices. Show me what it's like. Show me, help me connect with Zula, right? That's what we do on Instagram. It's all about the culture, right? That's definitely, Instagram is the best for that. But don't try to, put links, hyperlinks in the comments. Just don't. It's just not what it's about. And please, for the love of God, don't use 50 hashtags. I get it. I understand why people do that. And now yesterday, Instagram launched their whole new search thing, and that's fantastic. By the way, I apologize. I can't read comments, but I am hitting traffic, so I'll try to read some comments soon. Instagram, launched their whole search thing yesterday, and are competing now, head on with a lot of different companies. Like we talked about, Ian, and they're competing with obviously.
Accident reported ahead.
They're competing obviously with Twitter and many others. But I wonder if the fact that Waze is talking to me is going to put me out of sync in terms of the audio. I feel like it will. Oh man, a car accident. I hate that. It's so sad to see car accidents. So yeah, Instagram launched their search thing, and I get why people, hijack search with hashtags. I understand it. Don't get me wrong, but for the love of God, just don't do that. Use Instagram for what it's for. Yes, there's nothing wrong with using a hashtag once in a while, but Instagram as a brand is really great for promoting the culture. Not much more, but that is a very, very, very powerful thing. Don't belittle that. Don't maybe you might think, I don't want to promote my culture. Absolutely wrong. Culture today, company culture is equally important, if not more important than many other things that you think are central to your marketing. So use Instagram for promoting culture, but don't, for the love of God, use it as a sales platform. Don't try to drive traffic, using URLs and all kinds of hacks or hashtags, or don't do that. Nothing wrong with a hashtag here and there, but definitely don't stuff hashtags in your posts, Instagram posts. It's just super. And if you are going to do it, by the way, if you are going to stuff hashtags, do it in the comments and don't do it in the actual post that you're tweeting out and you're putting on Facebook. So when I see your Instagrams on Facebook, it has 5,000 hashtags on it. That drives me bonkers. I don't understand what went through that person's mind when they thought that was a good idea. So that's Instagram. So Pinterest is a no-brainer if you're an e-commerce. If you have an e-commerce element to your business, right? If you have visual content that you're trying to drive sales to, furniture store, even food, whatever it is, then Pinterest is super, super powerful, and it's only getting more powerful now that they added the buy button. Absolutely no-brainer. You need to be there. There's no question about it. And I would even say, if you're an e-commerce solution, I would go to Pinterest before Instagram. By the way, just to address the fundamental question here is, how can I be everywhere? Fundamentally, the answer is you should have someone full-time doing this for you. But if you can't because of lack of resources, you're a young startup, I get it. So you're gonna have to choose based on what I'm saying and other things that common sense in terms, what's most relevant to you. But in an ideal world, you have someone full-time doing this for you. Oh, great! Now I'm hitting bumper-to-bumper traffic, so I could read some comments. That was that Arnold voice talked about this already. Natasha, you can find the video on his Twitter or YouTube. Love hearing Arnold's voice in waves. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I'm also curious to hear what you think about G+. I will talk about G+. I did cover it yesterday. I will talk about it, though, in a minute. We are working on an app also. If you have a visual-based product, Instagram is great. Artists and anyone in the visual arts, I agree completely. Hill's Fuld regarding biz Facebook pages, you need to learn paid posts. Yeah, okay. Sorry, that's a very good point. I'm not talking... Hold on. There's advertising and there's marketing. Let's just differentiate here. Advertising as an advertising platform, Facebook is by far, whether you're driving downloads, if you want to pay to actually promote things on Facebook, it's the best. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about free marketing, right? Free. I'm talking about marketing on Facebook. That's a totally different topic. Yeah, promoting stuff on Facebook goes far. I'm not talking about that, though. Facebook business pages are useful for advertising. We're talking about marketing, not advertising. What do you think is the most valuable social media platform for businesses? That's what we're talking about, Natasha. And I'm going to agree with you or saying for Facebook personal pages. Yeah, I agree with what you are saying about Facebook business pages. Oh, wow, there's a lot of comments here. Oh my, falls less than 1% will see it. Do you still think Facebook holds as strong of a credibility for business? Only 6% will see the post. Hill's Fuld value for business pages today is the paid. All right, we're not talking about paid. I'm going to keep saying it. Be great on viewing a scale from there. All right, there's so much you can do online. Can you share with us the buzz in the beginning of Meerkat? It's a good example of hype and social media used. Yeah, Avishai, I'll talk about that, but I don't think this is the topic today. I'll definitely do a Meerkat on that. Oh my God! All right, I can't read all these comments, guys. Let me just continue. Pinterest, Instagram for e-commerce. Yeah, Natasha, I think so. Yeah, the Arnold voice. Okay, great. So let's go on. So we talked about Facebook. It's the default. You need to be there, but I would say use it as a business because you need to be there, and as a personal, someone in your company doing it to help promote your brand. Instagram is fantastic for company culture. Don't hack it and try to drive traffic. That's not what it's about. Pinterest, if you're e-commerce or something visual that you're trying to drive sales to, traffic to, then Pinterest is only getting better and absolutely should not and cannot be ignored. No question about that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Google Plus. But guys, I did a whole thing on Google Plus, and I know what you're thinking. But before you go and whatever, go watch my Google Plus thing.
Heavy traffic reported ahead.
Heavy traffic.
I see everything.
You heard that? Heavy traffic reported ahead. I see everything. That's Arnold. So I did talk about Google Plus. I'll just sum it up in kind of 2 sentences. You absolutely cannot afford to ignore Google Plus. Danny, watch my Google Plus thing before you go jump to conclusions, start, going nuts in the comments here. I know what you think, and I know what you think what I've done there is me unique, and just watch my Google Plus Meerkat and you'll understand. But there's 2 aspects to Google Plus, or 3 aspects. Number 1, as a person, the numbers are there, but before you go and trash, you go check how many posts you wrote this month, Mr. Klein. How many posts did you write in Google Plus this month? How many comments? I was stable until now, but now I'm on audio only. Oh, that bites. If you don't like to use that they're forcing you to use Google Plus, then go use Yahoo Mail. Don't use Google products. If you're using Google products and you're getting value out of it, then Google has a right, quote unquote, to say to you, we want you to use Google Plus. You don't like it, again, go use Hotmail, whatever. Yeah, dude, you have over 8 million views on Google Plus. What city is this? I'm in Herzliya now, but I am on audio only, and it's super annoying. I don't like this. Freaking connection went out. Yeah, I'm back. Let me know if you guys can see me. Okay, so I'm going to continue. I hope I'm back. You guys see me okay? Let me know. So Google Plus, so those are the 2 things. First of all, the traffic is there. You just have to spend time building it out. And second thing is that even if the traffic isn't there, for search, right? You get on top of search there's whatever they call it, Google Plus Your World. Google Plus content, will actually appear on top of organic search in many instances. You can't comment on YouTube unless you have a Google Plus login. You can't review an Android app unless you have a Google Plus login. Those things are semantics. Those are like technical things, but it indicates what Google's intentions are. They are very much putting their eggs in one basket. And if by you ignoring it, you're basically saying, screw you, Google, I don't care. And you're an idiot because you need traffic from search. You need all these things. You need Google on your side. You don't want to... Google's saying to you, get on it. Stop ignoring it. Stop ignoring it. But more importantly, communities on Google Plus are huge. I mean, you open a community there, and within a month, not even, if you're consistently providing content there, you will see amazing engagement. That's just a fact. So again, before you go ridiculing Google Plus, go check how many posts you've written there this month, how many times you've commented on other people's things. Did you really invest in the platform? And if not, then Google Plus is no different than any other platform. It's an empty room until you invest. That's it. Same thing as Twitter, same thing as Facebook. You open Twitter and you have no followers, and you haven't spoken to anyone, then you're not going to get any value there either. So it really depends on you and your engagement, but potentially the engagement, the numbers are there. Okay, you can see me now. So the first thing I said is the numbers are there. The numbers are really there on Google Plus. You just have to spend time building it out. The second thing is that Google's saying to you as a company, don't ignore Google Plus. And the third thing is communities. As a business, you can build out communities there that are super powerful, and you absolutely need to do it. So, and I didn't even mention the amount of connections and relationships you can build there with Google execs. I mean, I'm close buddies with like Bradley Hurwitz, who runs all of social at Google, and Vic Kundatra, who ran it before. These guys are like top level executives at Google who are now good buddies from Google Plus. So all those four things are reasons that as a company, as a brand, you should absolutely not ignore Google Plus. There are many other platforms. Obviously, there are people that do marketing on Snapchat. I've actually pitched the press on Snapchat, believe it or not. I'm not going to talk about Snapchat right now. It's just endless. Gary once said that he actually wakes up in the morning and goes through the App Store, and if he sees an app there for more than like whatever it is, 90 days, he knows that this is an app he needs to check out. So Yik Yak and all these things, Slack, there's many viral apps out there. I can't talk about everything, but the main ones is what I wanted to talk about. So we talked about Facebook, we talked about Instagram, we talked about Pinterest, we talked about Google Plus. Let's talk about Twitter. Absolutely the most important platform for you as a brand. Not even, there's no like any other platform, nothing close. Like there's nothing close to the importance of Twitter. And that's across the board. That's for customer support. That's for listening to get to know your brand, your audience. That's for competitive analysis. That's for sales if done smartly, not to sell on Twitter, but we'll talk about that in a second. And that's for really mainly the value is listening, but for sure for PR, for relationships, for business, doing business, everybody's on Twitter. I shouldn't say everybody's not on Twitter, but unless you work in like a very niche kind of, I would say at least in the tech universe and anything that's even somehow remotely related to tech, you need to be on Twitter. It's an absolute necessity, must, mandatory, no question about it. And you need to be spending most of your time there. Most of your time, I mean, not instead of developing the product, most of your time on social. Meaning if I break down the amount of time you spend on social, 50% of it would go to Twitter. And I've talked about Twitter and some amazing things that have happened to me over the years, and you can check out that Meerkat on my Pinterest, but unbelievable things have happened to me on Twitter over the years, like from getting all kinds of cool things from companies to connecting with celebrities who then helped me launch companies from one tweet, true story, to getting baby baskets when my daughter was born from my Twitter followers, from just amazing relationships that I've built, to meeting the biggest VCs out there. Last night I had a call with Benedict Evans, guy who works at Andreessen Horowitz. The guy is he's an absolute legend. I mean, he was like probably the number one mobile analyst in the world, and now he works at Andreessen Horowitz, probably the biggest VC in the world, or at least the most influential and probably the best. And I just thought, we had a call last night, and we're like good. I'm not gonna say we're good buddies, but I mean, I'm not on his level, but he's an amazing. Last summer, like things that have happened to me on Twitter are unbelievable. But forget that. Every company needs press, right? You need press. So you can hire a PR agency, and by no means am I saying, and I talked about this too on a different Meerkat, and by no means am I saying that, there's no need for PR agencies in the world. There is a need for that, for those that are actual, professionals. But 9 out of 10 PR companies are just, basically writing an email to their friend at TechCrunch and saying, write about this. You can do that. Why do you need a PR agency? Why do you need to spend $10,000 a month, and increase your burn rate when you can do that? Get on Twitter, and by the way, if you do it, the effectiveness is multiplied by 100. Ask any journalist who they'd rather get a pitch from, the actual entrepreneur or their PR agency. You get on Twitter, build those relationships with those journalists. They're waiting for you. What's their job? To write good content. You have good content. Get on Twitter, target those journalists. I don't mean target in a bad way, but build a list of journalists. I have a list called Elite Tech Press. It's open. Enjoy it. 450 or something, I think. Maybe 300, I'm not sure. 350 or 450 tech journalists. You need to get press. Follow that list. Follow those people. Talk to them. Don't sell. But listen to them, listen to their questions, engage with them. Let's read some comments. You should too see my Google Plus page. Oh God, a lot of questions here. We're going to who should be the voice CEO or other. Mordechai, who should be the CEO of Twitter? Mike McHugh, CEO of Flipboard. Save this post. Google will acquire Twitter. Maybe. Yeah, being a photographer G Plus is awesome. I agree completely. So anyway, I'm just saying Twitter is by far the most powerful platform as a brand. You know, there's no question about it. And let me tell you what I was saying before about sales. I've told this story several times. So if you've heard it, I apologize. But several years ago, when Apple bought TestFlight for beta testing, right? Beta testing your app, they bought TestFlight. They shut it down to Android developers like on the spot. There's an Israeli company called TestFairy that now does iOS as well, but at the time they were only Android. All of a sudden, all these Android developers that were using TestFlight started tweeting saying, "Oh my God, what do I use now? Because TestFlight closed us down. Apple closed us down." What about LinkedIn? I did a whole thing about LinkedIn as well. I'll talk about it in a minute. So all these developers were tweeting, and this guy Yair, who's the CEO of TestFairy, wrote me on WhatsApp, and he said, "Well, what should I do? Should I sell to these people? Should I get on Twitter and answer them and say use TestFairy?" And I said, "Dude, that is the worst thing you can do." He's like, "Well, what should I do? Should I retweet them?" I'm like, "No, favorite their tweets." He's like, "What do you mean favorite? What does that do?" So a person then asks, what platform should I use? TestFairy favorites his tweet. This is what happened. He thought I was crazy. 5 minutes later, he sends me a screenshot with the timestamp, literally the timestamp. It said, this guy asks, TestFlight shut me down. What should I use? TestFairy favorited his tweet. And then he goes, wow, those TestFairy guys really know how to listen. They just got a new customer. What happened was this guy sitting in his bedroom tweeting, "Oh my God, TestFlight shut me down." All of a sudden he gets a push notification. TestFairy favorited your tweet. And he's like, who the hell is TestFairy? He clicks on the bio. He's like, oh my God, this is exactly what I need. Clicks on the website. Boom, done, conversion. Now I'm not saying that would happen 100% of the times, but that's the culture on Twitter. Subtlety. Don't sell. Listen. So what did he do by favoriting his tweet? He said to the guy, "Listen, man, I hear you. I'm not selling to you. I'm making a conscious decision not to sell to you, but come check us out." That's really what he said without saying it, right? What's subtlety? It's saying something without saying it. And that's the difference between sales and marketing. Sales is you're picking up the phone, you're saying, "Buy my product." Marketing is, "This is an amazing space. Here's some great information about the space. By the way, we also sell this product." Without saying, "Come buy it." So this is what he did. And so sales is, Twitter's amazing for sales if you use it intelligently. If you're a spammer and a used car salesman, then it's the worst platform you can imagine. That is not acceptable on Twitter at all in terms of the culture. So I would say, just kind of to sum it up, Facebook, you need to be there. Instagram's fantastic for company culture. Pinterest is amazing for, selling, driving traffic to e-commerce. Twitter is an absolute must. You cannot ignore it. You must not ignore it. Get on there, spend time on there, listen, use search. Search is super powerful on Twitter. Find what people are saying about you. Find what people are saying about your competitor. Find what people say they love your competitor, why they hate their what does the market need, what's missing feature. Just use Twitter to build relationships, to search, to listen. That is the most important thing. LinkedIn we talked about, but I'll just sum it up. LinkedIn is an amazing platform, super powerful. I think it's misused by too many people. It's great for recruiting and all that. That's true, but for me, LinkedIn's amazing because of its groups. You want to drive traffic to your blog, you tweet something, anybody can see it, right? It's not targeted. It's not, it's not necessarily relevant traffic. So, time on page and bounce rate and all that. LinkedIn, you go into a group about Barbie dolls and you have a blog post about Barbie dolls. You put that, not in a spammy way, but you partake in the conversation and you share that link. You'll get tons of traffic, but targeted traffic, so people will actually be interested in what you wrote. I've had LinkedIn when I spend time, putting my content in groups, which takes a lot of time because of the API. You have to actually do it manually. But again, not automated. Don't go, copy paste. No, go in there and be like, "Oh, we're talking about whatever it is. I just wrote this content. I would love your thought." Whatever it is, be personal. It drives amazing traffic. Listen, there's so many problems with LinkedIn. I just think it's a bad user experience, especially on mobile. And I disabled all my notifications on LinkedIn. It's just not. I just don't find it to be pleasant. But and the whole in-mail, if you ever want to reach me, do not send me a LinkedIn message. Just tweet me or email me or whatever. Tweet me. I'll respond like that. LinkedIn, why? I honestly, genuinely don't get why people, reach out to people on LinkedIn. I understand, it's a more professional thing. If you want, everybody's on Twitter, right? Especially in tech. Just reach out on Twitter. But that's just my opinion. LinkedIn is powerful for many different things. I can't say I enjoy using it as much as I enjoy using Twitter or other platforms. But again, you can't not be on LinkedIn. Clearly, as far as a company is concerned, pages and groups as a company, pages and company groups. I haven't had any runaway success with that. I guess it's kind of a default. You need to have it, I guess, kind of thing. But The company should have a page with your employees at it and all that. Yes, but I wouldn't spend so much time. I wouldn't spend so much time building out my audience on LinkedIn. I rarely share content on LinkedIn. And it's funny because some people have said to me, I saw your thing on LinkedIn. I'm like, wow, you actually read, LinkedIn for the content? That's truly interesting to me because I don't. But it is what it is. You can't not be on LinkedIn, but I wouldn't spend that much time on LinkedIn for sure. Anyway, I've arrived in Herzliya, so I'm going to start reading some comments. I have 18 minutes to my first meeting, but let's just to sum it up before I read comments. Facebook, you need to be there. Use it as a person in addition to your brand. Instagram for company culture is the best. Pinterest is amazing for driving traffic to e-commerce. Twitter is, if you have to choose one platform, you have no time for anything else, absolutely it's Twitter, not even a question. LinkedIn also, you need to be there. I know, it's like, well, I can't be everywhere. So if you can't be everywhere, you need to choose the platforms based on what we're saying. But LinkedIn, you should be there. You don't have to spend too much time there, but you definitely should have a presence. Twitter is all right, so I'm going to try to read the comments. Twitter is one of the most misunderstood platforms for people to know how to promise it. Yeah, I agree with you, it's misunderstood. You could see Octopus to push to groups. Mordechai, I'm not a big fan of automation. You know that, man. I'm not a fan of doing that at all. You can use a lot of different things to push, but I'm not a fan. It's called social selling, meaning context of social and to leverage it to create direct relevance. Okay? Same listening strategy can be applied to Instagram household. Fave and comment on others' content. I agree completely, Donnie. Completely agree. Israel has the best companies and talent. Too many companies to list. I follow Mobileye, which has a monopoly in their market. Yeah, Mobileye is a sick company. Amazing company. Unbelievable. I would retweet Hillel's stream just for the slamming of PR firms. I'm not slamming PR firms. Do not get me wrong. I met with Headline Media yesterday. They're freaking amazing. Matt Krieger is amazing. Like, there are some amazing PR companies out there. But I think that you can do most of what they do. They just build relationships with journalists. You can do that yourself. What about LinkedIn? We talked about connection. I hope the connection's okay. Let's go back a little bit here. Question regarding Twitter. Who should be the... All right, we talked about that. Being a photographer at G Plus is awesome. Collections are great if leveraged with purpose. The communities on G Plus have worked for my clients. Yeah, they're amazing. I'm using G Plus before it became a social media. There was real engagement. I completely agree. The new G Plus collections is very interesting. Yes, I agree. True G Plus is great. I have over 11,000 followers there. If you spend time building it out. 98% of my lead flow is from G Plus and communities. Yep, it's still light over there. Where are you? I'm in Israel and it's 8:44 in the morning. Oh yeah, communities are great and also that you can make your own circles. Yes. Tweets actually appear in Google search results, not seeing G Plus results in organic search. Tweets do not appear in Google results, Donnie. Tweets are indexed. There's no real time here. Let's put things in perspective. It's not appearing in real time, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Google Plus results do appear in, not in organic. Yes, they appear on top of it. That's true. Listen, it's not one or the other. I think you should be on both, and each one has its advantages and disadvantages. Remember a couple of days ago when I asked you about the Fitbit IPO? It's now up 90% in less than a week. Cha-ching. Yes, I'm using the Jawbone. Dang this connection. Tell email ignoring GPS is a big mistake. Yeah, okay. Freaking connection went out. All right, guys, I think I covered all the comments. I'm going to walk to WeWork now, and you'll walk me. Cool? Twitter is one of... All right, we understood that. Wow, 357 people. Holy smokes. All right, so let's just hope that the connection remains stable. Oh, but I have to pay for parking. And for that, I have to put you in the background. I cannot put you in the background on Meerkat. So I'm going to... And I don't want to get a ticket. So let me just fix my parking, first of all, because I'm not parked well. Let me see here. Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right, now... I have to pay for parking, which I can't do while I'm on Meerkat, which is kind of annoying, actually. Why can't they let me put you in the background? Yeah, there's no way I can. I tried the other day, and it just basically ended the stream. This is what's called first world problems. So I guess we're going to have to end the stream because I ain't leaving my car without paying for parking because I will get a ticket. Although, I think the parking only starts at 9 a.m., which means I have some time, 15 minutes, but then I'm afraid I'll get there and I'll forget to do it, and then I'll be screwed. So yeah, I'm just going to end the stream, I think, guys, unfortunately. But the truth is, I covered the topic that I wanted to talk about. If there's any other, platform that you think is relevant in terms of the mainstream, the big ones that I forgot, let me know. But I think we covered them all. And as always, I am reminding you, if you have any ideas of things that you want to hear me talk about, if I know anything about them, I'm happy to